The Georgia Archives would like to welcome everyone as we celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Georgia Department of Agriculture. The Georgia Department of Agriculture is the oldest state department of agriculture in the United States. As we celebrate and commemorate agriculture in our state's history, we can also reflect on the broad impacts it has had on our state's culture and its citizens. We are excited about the wide variety of topics during this symposium and invite everyone to explore the agricultural records held here at the Georgia Archives through our finding aids on georgiaarchives.org and by visiting us here in Morrow, Georgia. We not only house the Georgia Department of Agricultural Records, but also those from many other state agencies involved in agricultural and environmental pursuits. We would like to thank the Georgia Department of Agriculture for their cooperation in this symposium, as well as the Friends of the Georgia Archives and History and our staff members. The Georgia Archives is a unit of the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia. It identifies, collects, manages, preserves, provides access to, and publicizes records and information of Georgia and its people, and assists with state and local government agencies with their records management. Please enjoy the following session on farming practices and education.
This is our second session of the Georgia Archives Symposium. We're going to have two presentations in this one. We're going to do the first presentation by Dr. Bipul K Biswas, who is an associate professor at Fort Valley State University since 2002, and he is renowned for his contributions to agriculture and biotechnology. Dr. Biswas is presenting a 150-year journey, Georgia's agriculture evolution from slavery to modernity, embracing hydroponics. And his co-author on this couldn't join us today, so it'll just be Professor Biswas. Professor Biswas, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you. I think use the arrows to go forward and back.
Good morning, everyone. This is Bipul Biswas, and this is my first time coming here on this, but I'm glad to be here. I want to tell you that my colleague say he's a very genius professor. We'll be missing him because he has some family urgency, so he could not join us. And he actually inspired me to come here and talk about the biotechnology, that modern agriculture, and what we are doing at Fort Valley as around the community in Georgia. So I have some accent, so please feel free to ask any questions, because I will try to slow down so that I can pass what I want to tell you. As Fort Valley State University, I am there for last 22 years. Which seems to me only a couple of months there I'm there. It's passed so quickly. Anyway, we heard about Fort Valley. Glad to hear all this history, and I'm going to focus a couple of things because I have to be in 30 minutes. It's although 30 minutes, but my presentation was too long. I was preparing for 1 hour. Anyway, we'll go slowly for that. I want to focus because this is focused on 150 years. So from 2024 back, it will be 1874. We are going to talk about that duration. What was the social situation at that? It was post-Civil War. That means slavery was gone. And what was the before slavery? That pre-Civil War, you can see here, Civil War was 1861 to 65. Before that, these are some pictures, which was pictures how our Georgia looks like for farming. And in the left-hand side picture, it showed that people are farming something, but farming changes, right? So in Savannah, they are doing some farming. And there you can see black farmers are working, and these white owners are there for their farm. And the right side picture is cotton farming. And we know that cotton farming changed when the gene was discovered, so manual labor was no more needed like that. That was before that civil war, which was 1793, that gene was developed. Here we can see after that, that cotton farming looks like that. The first picture is cotton farming, second picture is the tobacco farming, and third picture is rice farming. And these are the three main crops who are there. Now you cannot see this rice farming there in Georgia. And also we see less tobacco farming. People are shifting from tobacco to other farm types. So that we have to keep in mind, that farming in change. Now, what happened, the social picture when this slavery of Georgia is end? Still, people had the mind that, okay, what we can do. Now, black people didn't have slavery, they have to go. They didn't have land. So they got, then it starts sharecropping. Sharecropping means they need, the white farmers were giving them land and they were grow the crop, and it is not money. They will give the share of the crop to white owner, that farm owner. That is what it was going. And also tenant farming means that black farmer didn't have home. They are staying at those homes they are built for them as a slave. So they are staying there and as a tenant and doing this farming. We have to realize the situation when this kind of gap starts. We don't have money. I don't have land. I don't have anything. Whatever even I am a slave, but I now I am not slave. What situation starts? So I got some land to work because I know work. I don't have education. I don't have money. So that kind of situation we have to think. And here is the picture. And after that, slowly it starts that this the Georgia started like peas, cotton, and peanuts. And sorry, poultry and peanuts. This is the major. Poultry is still the highest growing thing, commodity in Georgia. So these are the things. And we are in Peace County, that's Fort Valley State University, and we have peace research going on. But peace is facing another problem. It's called short life syndrome. As a biotechnologist, I am working on genetic engineering. I am working on all these things, how we can solve that one. Because it suddenly die. The peace tree suddenly die in the orchard. What the farmer can do? After 3 years they planted, they don't know. Lot of each USDA project has been going on, million dollars is going on, but still we have several different reason we found, like some is nematode, some is some bacterial infection. So these kinds of problem is going on. So we have to keep moving. And another thing also, this is one of the picture in 1942, that when the black farmers family dinner. So we have to keep the black farmers become rich, and that is the status. We have to make ourselves better, thinking that if I feel myself always small, then I cannot grow. So I have to think myself, I am rich, I am knowledgeable, and I can do it. This report shows with the Black Farmer Network that in 104 years ago, which is 1920, that's 925,708 farmers, black farmers, minority farmers in Georgia, which is now only 35,470. And black farmers had 15 million acres of agricultural land, which is now only 4,700,000. So you see the reduction. What is this reduction? 96% farmers, black farmers, are no more farming. Only 1.6%, the ratio of black farmers is 1.6% in Georgia. Now, if we calculate the thing, we can see in 104 years ago, that each black farmer has an average 16.2 acre land. Whereas now that has increased because it is 132.5 acre per black farm. Now you have to think the shift. shipment, why it shift happened, that product, because possible reason behind this shift is new machineries reduced the number of manual labor required for agriculture. Then a lot of minority farmers and their lands, they sold out for money and moved to northern states for jobs and education. Not only that, they wanted to come out from the taboo that I am a slave. So I need to move that thing from my mind that I'm no more man. So that is the stigma we needed to come out. That's happened. So people moved from there to Georgia, to northern state where this situation was late, or they are getting job in Georgia, they are not getting the jobs. So then they did that, they got education, then now they started coming back and buying again, doing job or buying some properties. But first, few farmers are still there, like they might have higher number of lands. And see these equipments when they're using, when you are without equipment, you need thousands of labor. And after that mechanization, you see, you don't need labor anymore. You can do by yourself in one person. This is the picture of urbanization and industrialization. It happens in 1800 after. So this industrialization and urbanization also started moving people from villages, countryside, they moved to cities. So this agricultural land, they sold and they moved to cities and urban for jobs. And what happened? In this domestic movement that took place due to this urbanization and industrialization, current time, 60% world population lives in cities, 60%, where there is less or no farming land. Now we are facing in agriculture two different things. Worldwide, there is a population growth. It is over 88 billion people. And in average, the land reduced to all average, not in minority, over 0.15 acres. And in cities and urban areas, there is no land. Where, like COVID-19 happens, lockdown happens. It was not the last one. We should prepare for the future. What will happen is lockdown. You cannot go out from your property. What you will eat? How many days you can survive without going out from your home? We have to think so many things. And not only that, in farming and agriculture, water is scarcity. There is not enough water for agriculture. Then this climate change. What is happening? Unexpected weather condition. The rain we need for my crop, it is not happening at the time. The frost, I was not expecting this time. Last year, no peaches we got because it was late March frosting. It was good fruiting, initial, all damaged. I had my 1 hectare farm research plot. It was so nicely piece of fruit and flower and fruit came. Not a single fruit came due to this late frost. That is one thing. Plus, these crops we are depending, we cannot get it. So now people are researchers, scientists worldwide, they are thinking about indoor farming. And this indoor farming I am going to talk today, I will go show some pictures as well. This is not teachers in universities, schools, because although university professors started, but it was not developed as a course, because during my school and colleges, no professor taught me. But when I came to know, I will show you some videos, the information, people are doing it. There is a hope. Agriculture can be done differently. Future agriculture could be differently. But our farmer community, they do not know it. The people who are doing for the purpose of business, profit, they will not share it to next farmer. So there is a big gap. But as Fort Valley State University or other university, we should start teaching our next generation, our grower, farmers, so that before it is too late, they can start this new technology. And for that, we need some education. We need some training. That is what I started doing that. And with that, I'll show you that the current problem for climate change, the space, land space, we don't need more land for this indoor agriculture. Even we can do it in cities. We need not to go to the acres of lands. This is for our current Fort Valley State University picture. And you see that it frost. You see that ground in Fort Valley, it was all snow that time. But it is a good campus we have. The picture you saw that long time, that this is our current picture. These are all students' dorm. And here, approximately 90% of the student body is African American. And we have 1,365 acres of land. We are the largest public land grant for the SBCU. And we have a lot of responsibilities, and we are trying. As I said, that using 90% less water, this is called controlled environment agriculture, the future agriculture. A lot of people, it will take some time to realize that, but as I am involved in these techniques for last 9 years, so I confidently say, yes, this is. And worldwide, people are thinking. Recently, I joined one world conference in indoor agriculture, and there are 32 countries people are joined there for this, and it was a couple of thousands researchers, businessmen, scientists, professionals are there. But to do that, we need education, proper knowledge to do that. And also, we don't need one farmer will do his own business like earlier. Several farmers, they can get together. They can start that farming together. And that way, whole village, whole community can be involved in one kind of this indoor farming. Here, I want to share this video that
Population will grow from today's 7.5 billion people to nearly 10 billion. And as natural resources like farmland and water become scarce, feeding everyone will become an even greater challenge. In tonight's signature segment, NewsHour Weekend's Yvette Feliciano reports on how there might be a solution well underway in the Netherlands. This story is part of our ongoing series, Peril and Promise, the Challenge of Climate Change.
Just south of The Hague in the Westland region of the Netherlands, miles upon miles of greenhouses are spread across the landscape. They've been built by Dutch farmers as part of a 20-year movement by the country to pursue sustainable agriculture by growing indoors. Dutch farmer Hans Winkel grows tomatoes in 2 greenhouses that cover 20 acres of land. His annual harvest of 2.5 million pounds of tomatoes is more than double the average yield of an outdoor farm.
The plant we started over there as a small plant, stands about 5 meters, 6 meters further.
Winkel and growers like him achieve high yield by controlling the climate and water for their crops under glass. Filtration systems allow them to collect and recycle the plant's water supply. Crops receive direct sunlight, supplemented as needed by artificial light, and are protected from unpredictable weather events and insects, which almost completely eliminates the use of chemical pesticides.
It's nice to see the plants grow. It gives you energy.
These indoor growing techniques have helped foster an indoor growing boom in the Netherlands. Greenhouses now produce 35% of the country's vegetables, despite occupying less than 1% of its farmland. The Netherlands Wageningen University has led much of the research on how to best grow crops indoors. Leo Marcellus, a professor at the university, says that in the era of climate change, the Dutch agricultural revolution needs to move beyond greenhouses, which still rely on some outside forces like sunlight.
We want to control the production process, that we can control the yield, the quality, that we can give guarantees towards the consumers. Although we can control a lot, you're still dependent on the outdoor conditions. So the next step would be to have a further control, and we can in fact guarantee how much produce we will have tomorrow or on any date of the year of a guaranteed quality.
Marcellus is now experimenting with indoor vertical farming, growing plants stacked on shelves to maximize space and completely cut off from the outside. As in many greenhouses, water for the plants is drained, collected, and reused, reducing their dependence on an outside water source. And instead of sunlight, the researchers use LEDs, light bulbs that can replicate solar light in a variety of colors and intensities.
Whether we are growing tomatoes, where it's about getting fruits, or whether it's a lettuce or a leafy vegetable. So you can imagine that you want a different type of plant, and that may require therefore a different light. With LEDs, we can also put them in between the plants. Well, that's very good, because usually there is maybe too much light on the top, but insufficient at the bottom. So we can have a much better distribution of light in the plant.
But growing indoors isn't cheap. Marcellus says a quarter of the expenses for indoor growers in the Netherlands relate to construction, something farmers who grow in fields don't have to worry about. Then there's the energy costs of round-the-clock climate control and artificial lighting. But Marcellus says a key advantage to indoor farming is that by creating ideal growing conditions and maximizing space, it can produce much higher yields, in some cases up to 350 times the yield of a conventional farm of the same size.
So here I will go for my next thing, what in Fort Valley we are doing. This is Fort Valley State University indoor farming, and that I started 9 years ago. And that is also one student came from New Jersey. She was my research student. She said, "Doc, what do you think about this?" I said, "You know what? For the last 3-4 years, I have been thinking this to do, but I didn't get some help, assistance, some students who can do it. And you have interest. Let's start." And we started that. That is the beginning. And after that, you can see, let me tell you some basic, what is indoor farming and how different types. These are 6 different types of hydroponics. It does not need soil. It grows only on water and some micronutrients, no fertilizer. And also we need not to use any pesticides. That people have been thinking about organic, that is here you can get. And I have some comparison study of traditional farming as well as indoor farming that our students have been doing for all last 9 years. And okay. Next. I think I did. Yeah, thank you. Here you can see left-hand side here, this is the most traditional farming that farming people are talking about, farmers are talking about, not the land, but the raised bed. This is the raised bed with cover so that no weeds can disturb. Still, the same day, this crop was planted in field, that is soil, and this is hydroponic, that is not soil. And you see the difference of growth in 18 days. How far? And you see the leaves are brown and white. These are leaves or green. No pesticide, no fertilizer. And this is called NFT, nutrient film techniques, means nutrient is coming through that web slowly 24/7, and this they are getting enough nutrients so that they can grow good. So this is another crop. You see the same. It is not that one crop is doing that, so I will be biased to pro. No, this is another. This is romaine lettuce. You might see left-hand side, right-hand side. This is my greenhouse. It's called not green. It's a specialty plant house where plants are growing in the soil as well as. And this is another. This is called different types of hydroponics, tower garden or aeroponics. Here, not 24/7 the nutrients is going. It is only 10 after every 10 minutes, one sprinkler is coming and down, and water is going down and coming there. Water, 95% less water we use, because the water is that in tank, it can go for complete crop like 4 weeks. You need not to add any water there. No leaking, you have everything there. But in the field, we are irrigating, all going down. So we are losing the water. Here, the water safety. This is another. And interesting thing is, this is, you see, in 2 feet by 2 feet, there are 11 towers, all vertically. 44 plants are there in each tower, whereas in the ground horizontal, we can plant only 4 plants. And in the ground outside, we can grow only once in a year. Then that is also infected or anything that farmer may take care, putting fertilizer, everything once in a year. Here, only 4 weeks to 5 weeks. This is the crop you are getting, and you have to harvest and you have to consume. Then again you can. So 12 months, you can do 10 times in 12 months because it is controlled environment. So you can multiply how many times you can get the crop. So this population growth and everything we are looking about, that is our solution. And here, this year, only these students did, and you see, all these students I'm training, giving training, they are doing, and then chicken wrap they are making at the end. And here our Dean Howard is there with us, and you see all are enjoying. This is their crop. They planted, and after 4 weeks of time, they all enjoy and they are enjoying. So we are educating, we are giving training the students that this is the food we eat, and we can survive even it is COVID-19. So this is we are doing it. This is the crop. If you don't harvest in time, it grows so fast. This is all hydroponics. This is our president, Paul Jones. He came and pick up and did, because that is what we need to say, because he is going several places to talk about our university, right? So he should know what we are doing there. And as our time is less, so I wanted to show that a small farmer, if some single farmer want to do it, this is a couple of, this not this one, come on. Yeah, second video. You can close this one, not this one. Yeah, this one. This is a single farmer they are doing here. How many crops? This is not very costly, and that is what people can do.
Former CIA official warns deadly strike coming to America's power grid.
Yeah. So next, here, Fort Valley has. You saw Netherlands. You may say, what about America? In Fort Valley has 25-acre greenhouse for indoor farming. And this is that, where my students are there. This is the Fort Valley Pure Flavor. Name is Pure Flavor. And you see, this is the Pure Flavor. Our students that they are visiting this Pure Flavor that is in 96 next to the lane packing. And they came to me first that we want to do our business, start our business. How many students you can give me, help me? I said, how many students you need? So I need 88 students for working there. I said, I have only 80 students at that time. So demand for jobs for trained students in hydroponics is there. This is next door, only 5 minutes drive from my agriculture building. This is how they are growing tomatoes. And these tomatoes are sub whole US almost trucking and going to Canada. And this is automated. A robot is going, this is turning all these thing. Now, how I am going to contact with our local farmer also, minority farmer. This is Humble Farm Refuge. One local in Millersville was. So although I'm not extension agent or extension professor, I am helping because I'm a community person. So whatever I can do, I am helping my community. This is it. Go ahead. It's on.
Keeps muting itself.
Art Thomas to be the Honda Hero Award winner.
Our latest Honda Hero Award winner is Arthur Thomas of Milledgeville, Georgia.
The Humble Farm Refuge is this micro-urban farm that promotes environmental sustainability. By re-educating the community on the importance of eating quality, affordable food, the Humble Farm Refuge empowers the people to produce their own with spaces that are very unusual to the traditional farm. Agriculture plays a significant role in the development and sustainability of any economy. As communities continue to grow, more innovative solutions are needed to provide quality food and sustain a healthy environment. Those who visit the micro-urban farm can expect to learn a hands-on and holistic approach to a sustainable lifestyle, with free lessons in alternative building, natural gardening, and material repurposing, all within the confines of a farm that's less than an acre. Filled with a multitude of unique plants and medicinal herbs, chickens, and bees to serve lessons on what we eat, where it comes from, and how it's produced. With an open invitation, Arthur and his team have a particular fondness for educating the community youth, seniors, as well as veterans.
I'm just happy, my heart's singing.
For more on the Humble Farm Refuge, or to nominate a hero of your own, visit us at powerequipment.com.
So, as I last time, that another video I want to show that I'm going and helping our community with the village farms.
So we'll get that real quick.
Okay.
We have clean, you can do that. You don't go for extra clean. I think this one will be good. Red cell letters. Red cell we have, and that will be enough.
And these are my undergrad students, post-grad undergrad students, who drove to Sylvester, which is 1.5 hour drive south, to help this.
Yeah, we have here, red cell, here. We have here.
And here, we are not only this plant with fish, you can see the tank is next, so that to grow catfish. So our future scientists, this future agriculture farmers, we are developing at Fort Valley. And we are giving training, and these are our students that working there, working hard, and they are trying to understand, because they had the stigma, if I learn agriculture, then I will be slave. No, that thing we have to remove from our mind, because without food, we cannot survive. I tell people that, hey, I can give you $1 million, I can give you $1 million home, but one thing I will not give you, that is food. How many days you can survive? And who grow food? It is not grocery stores. We grow food. Farmer grow food. So we have to learn that thing. And you can see this one. This is the indoor farm I was talking. And all these places, we have to change our mindset. That our society mindset, no, we should not go for. One student came to me, no, I cannot touch dirt. That's why we are coming in modern technology. We don't need to touch even dirt. It is completely space. And right now I am developing another CEA, Controlled Environment Agriculture, where I am not going to use any human labor, automatic. All artificial intelligence will be used there, and only me and sensor will be giving irrigation when needed, light intensity, and everything. So that is, you can come visit Fort Valley. In my 10,000 square foot greenhouse, I'm making another small greenhouse, which is 25 by 18 feet one. And this is the visitors coming in my greenhouse, and it's not black, it is black, brown, white, everybody. That is what we have to come out in our mindset. And this is future generation. This is next in Macon, this Alexander First, that magnet primary school. The teacher came to know about me. They invited me, and I went there. I showed the kids how this class has 88 students. They all came, enjoyed, learned how to. You see in the middle, that is their hydroponics they did, and also they did chicken wrap at the end last Friday. So this is how we have to modify our mindset in the future grower scientist. Thank you very much. question. There is no need of fertilizer because fertilizer always, that is green revolution happened in 1960s. So farmers have no even idea how much fertilizer I should put. So that's why nowadays all this more fertilizer, it is more production, more fertilizer, and it does not use it, come to our water and it is pollution in the water. That is what the main problem we have been facing. But in this one, because in human being and plant all have macro and micronutrients we need. We do not need fertilizer for growing plant. So here we put only macro micronutrient, which is like 100 gallon of water, you need only 75 ml, 75 ml of macro micronutrients of this. And you can also use organic, like composting, the composty, vermicompost, you can add that. And one of my students did that research and it works equally good.
Till the very end, I thought this was wonderful news for consumers and for the environment. And I was worried about small farmers, like family farms. And then you were showing that small farm, the humble farm refuge, right? How much space do you think there is in the future for smaller farms to be able to compete with these very expensive greenhouses, you know, that would sound like, you know, people are going to work in them, not owning them. It's a different model of agriculture than the traditional, you know, owning your own farm.
A good question. That is what is it. That is the question. That's why I always think how we can do it for anybody. This hydroponics is not done yet. It is the brainchild of everybody can come. Oh, can I do? They can see one way and they can modify that thing according to their sources. That is one thing. That's why one important thing. Your question is how much area is not actually costly. That is what I am telling. That costly one-time investment is there, but it will give you 100 to 400 times more production in a year. So you can think how much you can sell, then it can come back. The farm, that's 25-acre farm in Fort Valley, indoor farming. Can you imagine how much their turnover in a year? $13 million. $13 million. They sell, even if you give 70 to 80% for the cost, that means to $3 million they are getting out of 25 acres. In whole USA, if you Google that how much a farmer is earning from 1 acre, I was surprised it was $5. Why? 1 year they are getting maybe 1,000 or 2,000. Think about tractor, think about everything, loan they are paying back, and then fraud or any weather disaster, cross lost. They are paying from their pocket to the insurance company are not getting. And mainly black farmers are discriminated for getting the grants too. And you can see yesterday, day before yesterday's newspaper, now people are taking to take care of that because they are not getting. This farmer, why I go there? Because they do not know how to get the loan and they do not get that. People. So we need to educate our community and we need to be fair for everyone that, hey, we need for our future generation how we can serve. And that's why I also mentioned that a couple of farmers can get together and come up with a talk to university, they get knowledge enough what they are going to do, what they can do. Any one type of crop, go for business. You have to sell this crop, go talk to restaurants, hey, how much demand? And nowadays, the thing is, restaurant or supply, they need regular same demand they have to fulfill. Traditional farmer cannot do that because their weather situation, they cannot say, yes, every Monday I will give you 100 pounds or Thursday another pound. But indoor farmers, they are reliable now. They can give you and healthy crops and everything. That's why more people mindset is changing that indoor farming is the reliable and dependent farming that they can give. And why my experience, if you had, I am not growing more because I don't see whom to give. It is too much when I'm harvesting because I'm not selling. And I contacting all poverty or food desert people, come on and get my crop, because when it is ready after 4 weeks, I need to go everything, then I kill him again. Next week I want to plant. The beauty of this indoor farming, and this is the future. And that is what we have to think about. And if we know that, every question you will have in your mind, you get the answer by yourself. Because a lot of people, they do not know about this, and they think, oh, this building so nice, it's so costly maybe. Yes, it is costly for maintaining all these things, but you see the income after that. Or if you need, like as a farmer, I need to grow for my family, only a refrigerator kind of thing, we can do it, a small chamber. You can get your all crop. You need every week 2-3 salad head, you can grow there in your kitchen or your garage or underneath. You do not need sunlight. It is only there, because that is what we can. That is the beauty of this future farming. And we have to spread this thing to farmers, because farmers have no time to think about this. They are doing the traditional thinking. To shift from one to another, it is not easy. But if when they will get this thing, that's why I'm inviting more and more people to come to my greenhouse, or taking them even that bigger greenhouse. Then their eyes are open. Okay, like you have seen the video, that what is this thing? That's thing these days. Here, when you see some people now completely automated hardly there is only people. All automated robot is doing everything. And you can do that. We can do it. And future agriculture engineer students can come up with new ideas. I was talking, I give my students the idea, hey, come up with new ideas. That's solar. We don't need electricity. Solar will do that. So all this answer is there. Only we have to educate ourselves, and we have to do.
So another big thank you to Professor Biswas. And we didn't plan it this way, but it's sort of the first few presentations we've had so far sort of show the great past that Fort Valley State University has had and the great future that it's going to. So it seems like Fort Valley is doing some really good things. As are all of our other presenters. Our next presenter is Dr. Kiwana Kennedy. She is GPB's Education Outreach Specialist for Central Georgia. And she is a seasoned educator with a wealth of experience. Holding degrees from the University of Georgia, including a doctorate in educational leadership, she has served in various roles from teacher to deputy superintendent. And her presentation today is Escape the Virtual Field Trips, Georgia Forest and Georgia Peanuts. Dr. Kennedy?
It's still morning. Good morning, everyone. My presentation is going to be a little different, so hopefully you're all ready to engage in a little change of pace here. As I mentioned, I am an education outreach specialist, and what I will be sharing with you is some resources that we go around throughout the state of Georgia and share with teachers across the state to engage students about how they can talk with students about agricultural topics in the state of Georgia. So we're going to take a little virtual field trip, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how we go through our process in sharing different information. One of the things, and this is on if you would like to do this, but we are we're grant funded. And so we do, when we go out and anytime we present, we do ask people to sign in because it does go into the numbers that we share with how many people we've touched and where those individuals are, whether they're in the state of Georgia or outside of the state of Georgia. And so that becomes a part of the data that we do submit. And so if you are so inclined, you're certainly welcome to sign in. And I'm just going to pause just for a moment to give you an opportunity to do that. So this is what we're going to be talking about in Georgia Forest. We do a lot of partnerships as we go with different partners across the state of Georgia. One of those we've done with the Georgia Forest. And so we're going to look at a little bit of in reference to that. And we also we did a virtual exploration about the Georgia peanuts and the history of the Georgia peanut and how it came into being. So you'll get a chance to look at that. And so these are going to just be some examples of what we work with teachers to engage students with that are very interactive for the students as they learn about some of the history of agriculture across our state. And this is where we have a slew of virtual field trips, and I'm just going to go here just really quickly, just so I'm sure most of you, how many people are familiar with GPB and PBS learning media? Awesome. There's a wealth of resources here. But these are just all of the virtual field trips that we have. This Georgia Water is the latest one that we just launched. That came out in the fall of in the fall of last year, 2023. But this is one that we're going to be talking about is the Georgia Peanuts. But you can see we have two Forest 1 and Forest 2 field trips. We have virtual field trips about the civil rights movement, but there's so many, slavery and freedom. These are all virtual interactive field trips that students can take and engage in as they and learn about the different items across our great state. And so we do try to add to these as we continue, but it's just a wealth of those there. But these are all housed on our gpb.org website, so I did want to make you aware of that. Let's see if I can pull this down to get back here. Here we go. So first, the Georgia Forest field trip. Again, this is it's aligned to our Georgia state standards of excellence. They're aligned to forestry management and helping to support CTAE for a lot of our students who are engaging in those efforts. And this talks about the industry, the operation, the products, the sustainability efforts, recreation and wildlife as well. And this is kind of what students would see as they kind of engage in there. And hopefully you're going to get to participate because usually when I present, we do try to engage the individuals who are here with us. But as the students go through here, they are navigate looking through the sustainability section. They talk about operations and products, and students learn about the economic impact of trees and explore the products and resources. And then they also get into the recreation and wildlife and what it offers in reference to the variety of animals, activities that you see as well. So that's kind of how the forest is broken down. But I really want us to kind of focus on the Georgia peanuts. And so I want you to just kind of, so you can get an idea as to how these are really developed. We're going to just listen to this really short video.
Peanuts Virtual Learning Journey, brought to you by the Georgia Peanut Commission and Georgia Public Broadcasting. This online platform is an interactive journey that tells the story of peanut agriculture, including the history and origins of the peanut, its cultivation and uses, the latest in agriculture technology, and how Georgia peanuts impact the economy. You will also learn about a variety of career opportunities and explore key concepts through text, images, videos, and interactive elements. All content is aligned to Georgia standards. The Georgia Peanuts Virtual Learning Journey can be accessed by going to gpb.org/peanuts. To experience the virtual reality component, download the free GPB Education VR/AR app or download the virtual reality experience in the Oculus Store. Now, let's get started. To navigate easily throughout the experience, you can use the navigation tools in the far left corner. One will open a table of contents and the other will offer you a navigation bar. This is the home screen. As you are going through the virtual learning journey, you can always hit the home button at the top of the page to get back to this screen. You can also navigate to other sections by clicking the numbers on the top bar. There are 4 chapters to explore: history and origins, cultivation and uses, technology and economy, and working with peanuts. To start exploring on your own, click any of the 4 chapters and begin your journey by entering each section. We encourage you to explore the various elements throughout the storybook, such as the pencil icons that prompt you to write or reflect on your experience, and light bulbs that lead you to hands-on activities. There are also icons for virtual reality, videos, and image galleries. Each chapter begins with a landing page like this one, illustrating all the stories you can explore in that section. Chapters 1 and 2 also include a vocabulary list with important words and definitions. Chapter 1 is titled History and Origins. Here, you can explore interactive maps and discover how the peanut traveled across the world to end up right here in the peanut belt of the United States. Learn how the equator impacts farming and how geography can determine the different types of peanuts we grow. In this section, you can also explore the inner workings of plant cells, the peanut plant's unique characteristics, and its life cycle. Chapter 2 is titled Cultivation and Uses. In this chapter, you can learn about the important milestones that shape the peanut industry and the various products made with Georgia-grown peanuts that you may already have at home. This chapter also introduces you to a peanut farmer who reveals how peanuts actually make it from the field to your table. Chapter 3 is titled Technology and Economy. Here you can find multiple videos that cover everything from robotics to festivals. Discover the science behind the many tools used by industry professionals and the ways that peanuts have an impact on Georgia and beyond. Finally, Chapter 4 is all about working with peanuts. From engineers to entrepreneurs, the peanut industry provides a multitude of career opportunities. Now that you have seen all there is to explore in this virtual learning journey, it's time to get started. Choose your favorite chapter or begin your journey at the very beginning and enjoy as you discover the story behind Georgia peanuts.
So again, we have several of these. I do want to go back here. So when you're in here in this area, how students will get to our Georgia virtual peanuts, they'll just simply click here to go to. What you will have is a landing page, and it always gives just a brief description of what the setup is. And what we're going to be looking at is what's called the learning journey. There's video collections, and there's always support materials. If you scroll down the page, the students are engaged with several different videos. Some of these videos are what we call 360 videos. And then they get to support materials at the bottom where you can, where it talks about different tracking the peanuts. So they have activities, they have vocabulary words as well. If we go over to the learning journey, this is what you were just looking at when it was going through how it is all set up. So once they're here, you could come in. There's a menu of what it looks like, what's all included in here. A teacher can go in and jump around, or they can start from the beginning if they want to. So it just depends on where they are wanting to go. And so they can go in and look into these different pieces where they can click on the interactiveness, and if they are wanting to go in to learn about the history, and then they can get into some of the interactive maps, which is one of the things that you saw in the previous piece. And so you're going to get a chance to kind of experience this. I hope that's okay. So this is a little different, I know, than what you're normally, I think, would do. But I want to give you a chance to kind of experience this through what we do as well as we create escape rooms based on the checklist. And so you'll get a chance to participate in what we call the Georgia Peanuts Escape Room. So hopefully you're ready. Everyone's ready? Okay. So a couple of things. We're going to be using what we were just looking at, which is the Georgia Peanuts checklist. That's going to be where you're going to go and you're going to be looking to find the answers to questions about the Georgia peanut. Well, you're going to have 5 questions that you will see as you enter. So this is the checklist that you're going to go to. This QR code is going to go right to this checklist. So if you have a device, you can click on the QR code here, and it's going to take you to this checklist. That's what you're going to use to find your responses. If those who want to try this out a moment. Does everyone have it? Got it? Okay. And then you're going to need one other thing, and that's your questions. I am going to give you a little response sheet to write down your answers. So I'll do that in a moment. But the other thing you're going to need is this flippity. The flippity, this QR code, so you can have 2 tabs open. One, you've already done the first one, but you also need the flippity grid. This has your questions, and those questions are going to have 5 locks, and you're going to read each question. You're going to find the answer, and you're going to enter the answer and then see if it opens the lock. So you're going to be trying to escape throughout the process, and we'll see if any of you are able to get some of the responses. But there are 5 questions on the flippity. Does everyone see the question? So I'm just going to pause here and give you a chance to dig into those and see if you're able to get some of the questions. The first one is, what continent did peanuts originate on? What continent did peanuts originate on?
Can we work with a neighbor?
You can work with a neighbor. You can use the in the checklist. You can go in and actually see the information. However you want to work, you can do it. It's okay. It's up in there. And just go in and see if you're able to get those questions correctly with your locks.
I told one of my coworkers this morning, I went through college with a manual typewriter. So I think phone stuff to that kind of.
Just if you want to write down your answers, yeah, you should. The second question is, when did peanuts become popular in the United States? Question 3, what type of peanut is grown in Georgia? What type of peanut is grown in Georgia? Question 4, what was one of the most impactful events in the history of agricultural technology regarding the peanut industry? And the last question is, what does Donald Chase Farm do that is unique and provides a service to other farmers? See. No problem.
Got so involved. We got about 8 minutes. I got so involved looking for the answers, I forgot my time. Sorry.
Thank you, Don.
Got 8 more minutes.
Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at the first question. What continent did peanuts originate on? South America. South America. Awesome. You said that's the other one. When did peanuts become popular in the United States?
About the late 19th century. Early 19th century?
1700s.
Wow.
Yeah. 1700s. What type of peanut is grown in Georgia?
A runner peanut.
The runner peanut. The runner peanut. Good job. What was one of the most impactful events in the history of agricultural technology for the peanut industry?
Wow.
The plow, the invention of the plow. What does Donald Chase Farm do that is unique and provides a service to other farmers? And there was a video that you would have to, I think, look at for that one. Does anyone know? They grow seeds. That was the difference.
They grow
The seeds. And that was different from the other farmers. But this is what we try to do to kind of get students engaged into looking at different ways and kind of interacting with different resources. And so as you saw, we do have a lot. So hopefully some of you were able to escape. But we do have a lot of resources that are similar to this to help students kind of learn about agriculture and the different things that are happening there and to really kind of pique their interest and get them engaged with learning. Any questions or comments? Yes.
Y'all have a way to measure how many classrooms are using this? You know?
We actually do, we do a lot of, well, we do quarterly reports that gives like, well, any of our digital content, we have a way to kind of see how many people have gone to our digital content, how often it has been used. And so we pull those reports and look at them very often. When we went out for COVID, that's really when our virtual field trips, because people weren't able to go out. So a lot of teachers start really bringing in our virtual field trips into their classrooms and using them. And so we start seeing our highest numbers during COVID, and those numbers have continued since then. But that's when it kind of really start peaking and people really start really looking at our virtual field trips. And we try to continue to go out and do something each year. We have I have another one that we're going out and do. We try to do one every May where we go out, just like we did the peanut farm. We've done one on cotton. We did that one last year. So we try to continue to add to this just to kind of be a way to expose students to a lot of different items that are throughout our state that's focused on the state of Georgia. Yes.
Do you ever change them? For instance, would you ever do something on peanuts and hydroponics? I mean, do you go back in and say, okay, well, let's make it more today?
We do go up and update a lot of our things right now. We have some things that we call Georgia stories that actually talk about some of these same pieces. And so how we work is we do have to get grants. And then with those grants, we use them to update. So we're in the process of updating our Georgia stories components now. And so we're working on those. We actually updated some of our virtual field trips last year. We started going in, but we were doing the ones that were more of the, thinking about the prison. I can't remember. I'll have to, but we did some updates to some of the virtual field trips that we have been engaged in as well. This is, and when I was talking about Georgia stories, we do a lot of those through, because we have a lot of different resources that we go through here as well. Oops, I went off there. Any other questions for me? I hope that was, I know it was a little different, but I hope that at least you were able to see some things that we're trying to do with students to kind of get them engaged in thinking and keeping them interested in some of the agricultural pieces across the state of Georgia. So hopefully you enjoy participating in that little activity, because that's what students are actually doing, especially in some of our middle and high schools across the state. Okay.